Laba diena visiems. Good afternoon to everyone. I hope you are doing everyone well. It's good to see that you are connecting to our webinar called How to Get a Job in Lithuania. My name is Monika Meilutytė. I am a career project coordinator at the Student Affairs and Career Office at the Vilnius University. And you can see next to me our today's speakers. I will present them soon. I hope this seminar will be really useful for you because the summer is coming and summer break is coming, and you will pass your exams, and the study will stop for a while, and I think it's a good time for you to think about your career opportunities. Try to find a job or internship if you are interested, and prepare for your future. Of course, quarantine makes us create other challenges, but I think we will talk about these challenges today as well. First of all, I would like to remind you that this seminar is organized by Student Affairs and Career Office, and you see a team that works in order to help you in building your career and help you during your studies. So if you have questions or concerns about, or you need help on how to search for a job, internship, how to write a CV or motivation letter, how to prepare a job interview, feel free to ask us. Also, if you plan to go for internships, do internships in Lithuania or abroad, if you need financial support or you have questions about study process, also you can apply your questions to us. Simply, if you have doubts about your studies, you do not know how to overcome your study challenges, or you are looking for something new and you would like to try to work in a team solving real-life problems of organizations, then you can ask us about, for instance, Smart Internship. And below you see the contacts that you will find also after the seminar. But just to remind you that we are always here. We work even during quarantine time, and we will work during the summer break as well. So feel free to let us know what concerns you have. Also, I would like to remind you that you have a great opportunity to ask our speakers questions, and we have already received few questions from you. So feel free to do that during their presentations, and we will ask the questions after two presentations. So now I would like to present you our guest from State Labor Inspectorate, Tautvydas Zasas and Aras Petrevičius. They are illegal activities supervision counselors, and they will give you the first presentation. We're listening to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aras. I work in State Labor Inspectorate for a very long time. And now I shortly present you some slides, some information about general requirements for third country nationals who are seeking for a job. So firstly, the main requirements for labor relations in Lithuania: all employees shall be employed by a labor contract. So written labor contract must be made. And some other additional documents are required for third country nationals. It may be national visa D or temporary residence permit. It's very important documents, and without them, labor of a foreigner can be illegal. And in most cases, foreigners shall receive a work permit from another institution, but this requirement doesn't apply for students. And of course, procedures of employment of third country nationals are quite complicated, and I'm not going to speak about details. I'll just give the basic information, what is important for you. In Lithuania, a foreigner started his job, he can work only in one company, only in one employer, which mediated in the process of receiving a visa or residence permit or working permit. And employee, foreigner, he can't just change a job without written permission of Migration Department. I'll continue about specifics of work of students. Students usually receive a temporary residence permit issued on the basis of Article 46 of the law on the legal status of aliens. In simple words, this residence permit is issued just for students for the duration of their students. And our national legislation allows students to conclude a labor contract without any additional procedures if they have this residence permit where Article 46 is written. And in such case, a student can easily find a job, any job. He don't need to apply for a working permit. He don't need to apply for additional national visa or any additional document. But student can work only 40 hours per week. Exception is made for summer holidays and practice. During summer holidays, student can work 40 hours. What are specifics for employment after studies? During the last year of studies, a student can apply for a residence permit, which is longer than their last day of studies. It means a residence permit can be prolonged for half a year after student has graduated. And during this 6-month period, a student can legally stay in Lithuania. He doesn't need to leave to his home country. And during this these 6 months, student can seek for a job. And if he finds a job, student shall apply for another residence permit. And for former students, working permit is not needed. And all these specific requirements apply just for third country nationals. If you are from EU countries, so your legal status is the same as a Lithuanian citizen. It means you can easily find a job in any company, and no visa, no residence permit is not needed. And EU citizens can work not just 20 hours, but as a Lithuanian citizen, 40 hours per week. Well, that's are the main specifics for foreigners.
Okay, thank you, Aras. I'll carry on. My name is Tautvydas Dazasas. I also work at State Labor Inspectorate. So what's next? You want to get a job? Yes. 1 second, please. So you went for a job interview. You had a success. What's next? Well, first of all, you have to sign an employment contract. The employment contract is an agreement between the employee and the employer, by which the employee undertakes to perform a job function for the benefit and under subordination of the employer, and the employer undertakes to pay the remuneration or salary, as we call it these days. So you have to make an employment contract. It has to be written. It has to conclude it in written and then duplicate. Let me mark that always you have to have a copy of your employment contract at your disposal at all times. So I'll give you some examples of what has to be filled in your employment contracts. First of all, you have to have a job function. Doesn't matter if you're a lawyer, a janitor, a manager, and so on. The job function has to be filled. Also, we have to have a remuneration, a salary or wage, you call it whatever you want. There could be at least an hourly rate or monthly wage, it doesn't matter. However, we should note that in Lithuania, minimum wage for now is 3 hours and 72 cents for hourly rate and 707 euros for monthly wage. Also, I can give you advice in advance. Always remember that all terms that are agreed on verbal speech has to be moved to your employment contract. What does that mean? For example, if your employer tells you that your wage will be bigger after your trial period, that sometimes can be at least for 3 months, you have to put this on your employment contract. It's very hard to prove if anything was agreed only on verbal speech. Next, we have workplace. So it's usually only the place where your job functions will be performed. If an employer does not have a place for a performance of a main job or function, if it's not permanent, or it shall be specified that the employer works in several places and addresses. So all those addresses have to be filled in your employment contract. Next. There are a lot of information that has to be given for you before you begin your work. For example, full description of your job functions. Well, if you're a lawyer, if you're a legal specialist, there is difference. If you're only giving a consultation, if you're preparing all kinds of documents, or you also have to represent in court. That means you have to have a full description of your job functions. Next, for example, the employer has to give you all his legal and internal regulations, all safety rules, all the information about employee itself, their address, their office number, and so on. Also, everything has to be given you before the work starts. Let's go to next slide. So, working time and rest time. What does this mean? Well, when the employer starts his working, he can work for at least 40 hours per week. That means if the employment contract can be more the employment contract can be more than 40 hours unless you have an agreement on additional work. What does this mean? This means you can work 40 hours plus 8 hours overtime per week. Sometimes you can even work for 12 hours per week if you give your written consent. If you want to work for 60 hours per week, that means you also have to write agreement on additional work. So if you don't have any additional work, that means it's only 40 hours per week. Next, I shall tell you about your lunch break. So after no more than 5 hours, employee must be given for a lunch break to eat and to rest. So this break may not be shorter than 30 minutes and may not be longer than 2 hours, and this is a must. So if you work for more than 5 hours, you have to have at least 30 minutes of a lunch break. Also, there are rest times that has to be for everybody for you. The length of daily and uninterrupted rest between workdays or shifts may not be shorter than 11 consensual hours. And also, the employer must be given for at least 35 of uninterrupted rest over a period of 7 consecutive days. What does that mean? That means per week we have to have for at least 35 uninterrupted hours of your rest. Okay, maybe that's maybe you have some questions. I'm not sure. Did you understand anything?
Thank you, Tautvydas and Aras. Thanks for your presentation. We will now, the questions will be after the Vilnius presentation, so wait a few more minutes, 10 or 15, and then we already receiving questions on Facebook. So I encourage everyone who is listening and participating in this webinar to join and to ask important questions. What are important questions for you? And now I would like to present Dovilė Žeimienė. She's a project manager in Work in Lithuania and Invest Lithuania agencies. And she will also talk about how to work in Lithuania. Dovilė, screen and voice is yours.
Hi, everyone. I'm very glad to have this possibility to present work opportunities in Lithuania to you today. My name is Dovilė, and I am representing Invest Lithuania's initiative called Work in Lithuania. So my goal today is to shortly tell you about this program. Work in Lithuania is a talent attraction program established 2 years ago by Invest Lithuania. The main reason to start it was to address the lack of skilled labor force faced by foreign investors. And that is why its main purpose is to connect highly skilled employees with international employers in Lithuania. But what is it there for you, international students? Well, first of all, I must say that we select our partner companies very carefully. All of them offer open positions in English, and overall, knowing several languages is a great advantage in the candidate selection process. Secondly, there is a possibility to upload your CV in our website. We have a person in our team who is responsible for matching the candidates with open positions, so he could find you a perfect fit. And if not, we will send you newsletters presenting latest job offers in your professional field. In addition, there is a possibility to make an interview remotely if you cannot come to the office and also work that way. And it is especially relevant today during this pandemic period. And lastly, Work in Lithuania offers consultations regarding migration procedures, documentation, life in Lithuania, so you are welcome to contact me with further questions afterwards. I am proud to say that Lithuania has a lot to offer for talents looking for job opportunities. Due to great infrastructure and business-friendly environment, Lithuania is already home to a number of internationally recognized companies, such as Thermo Fisher Scientific, Nasdaq, Intrum, Uber, and others. I am glad to say that their hunger for talent is numerous and is constantly growing. In 2018 alone, Invest Lithuania has secured 4,600 new jobs, which will have to be filled in the upcoming years. Given the international nature of these companies, it goes without saying that all the openings in these companies will be suitable for both local and foreign professionals. Take a glimpse into your new possible office at Nasdaq, Vinted, or Danske Bank. Companies offer new and modern workplaces so that you would feel welcome and happy. For example, Business Center Quadroom was selected as the best office building in Central and Eastern European in 2017. So what is it that's convincing major global players to constantly develop their business units and grow their teams in Lithuania? Well, the answer is the skilled multilingual talent they find here in our country. And every month these companies are attracting specialists of three main sectors. These are technology, manufacturing, and global business services. Currently, our partner companies offer 22 junior positions and 9 internships. And all in all, there are more than 230 open positions in Work in Lithuania website. You can search for a specific position using various filters, such as according to the field of work, company, seniority level, location, monthly salary, and even language. FYI, people who speak several languages have a great advantage in the candidate selection process. I also have great news. A new landing page created and designed specifically for international students in Lithuania will be released in June already. It will be a part of the main Work in Lithuania webpage, and entering it, you will see a section named Students. Pressing it will lead you to this new landing page. But how is it different from the main Work in Lithuania webpage? Well, first of all, only those job positions which are relevant to students will be published there, meaning junior and internships. Also, you will have the possibility to register into our internal platform, create an attractive resume, apply and track your applies history easily. In addition to this, all information regarding migration, which is relevant to international students, will be presented here in detail. The information will be divided into 4 separate areas, which are studies, work during studies, work after studies, and blue card. A section of programs for students will be available, meaning other offers for students that companies have apart from separate job offers. Examples include the possibility to work during studies, summer or traineeship programs, academic programs, special scholarships, possibilities to prepare final papers in the companies, and special internship programs. Finally, you will be constantly updated regarding latest news in various areas, such as changes in migration or legal laws, interesting news, meetings, tips for successful employment in Lithuania, and so on. And I have to say that we have put a lot of thought and effort into this new landing page, and we really hope that it will help you navigate in the employment search in Lithuania more easily and successfully. But what can be done today, not having to wait for this landing page to be released? Well, first of all, I would recommend you to check our Work in Lithuania webpage and the positions we have to offer today. Also, subscribe to our newsletter and get latest news on employment in Lithuania and in our companies. What else that you can do is sign up using a link in the comments. You will find the link in the comments. Monica will help me. And using this link, you will be able to get information about latest job offers. If you have a success story and are willing to share it, also please contact us. Perhaps it is related to studies, a great internship you had, or a successful job you found in Lithuania. And of course, come back to check our new landing page for international students in June already. To conclude this presentation, I would like to share one student success story with you in order to encourage you to explore job opportunities here in our country. So this is Anastasia, and she is from Ukraine. When she was studying her bachelor's degree, Anastasia was offered to participate in Erasmus Plus program, and actually Lithuania was her only choice. She decided to give it a try and was not disappointed. She enjoyed studying here so much that she came back for her master's degree. And during her studies, she got the possibility to participate in her university's career days. And that is how she started communication with Danske Bank, which offered her a position in IT, where she successfully continues working and happily shares her success story with others. Share your story as well. I would like to thank you for listening, and if you have questions, please come back to me using this email, and you will also find my contacts in the comment section below, and I will be really glad to hear from you. Thanks.
Thank you, Dovile, for your presentation. I think lots of our Vilnius University students and perhaps some other people who are currently listening to our webinar find lots of useful information now. Maybe we need time, they need a little bit time to remember everything and to figure out what is what. Okay, I think we can go to the question and answer session now. We have received some questions, and if you are listening to our webinar and you haven't done it yet, you still have the opportunity to do it. We can see it on Facebook online. So the first question probably goes to Aras and Tautvydas. Is it possible for a first-year master student to work in Vilnius legally? And after post-graduation, will someone get enough opportunity to get a job in Lithuania? So perhaps the first part of the question goes to the Aras and Tautvydas, and the second one for Dovile.
Yeah, thank you for the question. As I mentioned before, a student during his period of studies can work just 20 hours per week. But if the question is if a student can stay after his studies in Lithuania and work in the same company for a long time, so I would suggest to apply for another residence permit. Your residence permit issued for purpose of studies ends after 6 months after you have graduated. But if you know that you are not going to leave Lithuania and you are going to work for a long time in that company, I suggest you to apply for normal residence permit issued for job.
Of course, I think it's important to add here that you have to apply for residence permit when you are non-EU citizen, and for EU citizens, you don't have to do that.
Yes, EU citizens have the same rights as Lithuanians. They don't need any documents, except for labor contract, of course.
Okay, Dovile, what about the opportunities after post-graduation? I know that you are trying to work with the Innovation Ministry also maybe to make some changes for master students.
Yeah, that's a very good question. We are now proposing a new change in the law for master students so that they would be able to work full-time during their studies. It is not accepted yet. It is a proposal, but we really hope that it will be successful and master students will be able to combine studies and work, because I know that the majority of master students are studying during evenings and at least Lithuanians are working during day. So I hope that international students will also get this possibility.
Another question is about what if a person from third country gets a blue card? Is it possible to change a place of work? What then? Davile, maybe you can answer.
I guess this would be the best question for migration department, but as far as I know, a person can change a workplace, but he must inform migration department about that. But you should definitely check that in their website. Perhaps other participants may know better.
Well, when you have blue card, you don't need a work permit. That's it. However, you still need another documents for migration department, and you have to inform them. That's it.
Okay, we have another question that might go to State Labor Inspectorate. What are the requirements and process of being a freelancer?
Well, freelancer can work legally if he's registered in Lithuanian tax authorities. This restrictions for working time doesn't apply for self-employed persons. So if a foreigner has a residence permit, he can apply to tax authorities and ask for a specific document. I don't know how to say it in English. Well, he must be a taxpayer as a self-employed person.
I think you might get a certificate. It's called a kind of certificate that you are allowed to do to be a freelancer. Yes. I don't know, Davile, maybe you would like to add anything about freelancers or?
No, sorry.
It's okay. Okay, another question we have received is, what about the taxation for companies of hiring non-EU nationals? What about the companies? Do they have to pay anything for employing non-EU citizens? Do you know anything?
You would have to ask for tax state inspectorate for that.
I can add that sometimes when a company is trying to attract a very highly qualified specialist, they pay for his relocation costs. But it is not a must, as I know, and it is not a rule. So it depends on the company and its wish to get this candidate to Lithuania as soon as possible. And I know that sometimes there are mentors in companies who help candidates to deal with these migration procedures. They lead them to migration department and help with all the documentation.
Okay, thank you, Davile. Another question goes to you as well. Work in Lithuania, the platform that you have, has no legal field job offers. Are there going to be some?
Well, for today, we have job positions in 3 main areas, as I've mentioned: manufacturing, technology, which is mainly IT, and global business services. And because this is the hugest demand of positions that international companies need right now, that is why we are putting all the attention to these 3 areas. If there will be a huge need for legal specialists, I'm sure that it will be added, but it's not today.
Okay, thank you. Aras, I would like to ask you, as you are working with the illegal and legal work, could you bring us some examples of what kind of violations usually are done in Lithuania? Let's hope it's not very usual thing, but how do companies violate, and what violate the contracts or do some illegal steps? So what students should be aware of?
Well, firstly, I can say that every 10th illegal working person is a foreigner in Lithuania. And usually foreigners are working illegally in construction sector, and most of them are persons from the Ukraine. What we see during the investigations of illegal work, the most frequent situation, I can say that these illegally working persons, on the one hand, they're working legally. They have labor contract, they have residence permits, but they are not working in concrete company. Situations are as follows. As foreigners, they quit their job in one company, and they do not apply to immigration, do not apply anywhere. They find a job in another company. And despite of concluded labor contract, a work in another company is not legal. Another examples are, I can say, like bogus posted workers from Poland. It means that according to Lithuanian legislation, a worker employed in another EU member state can be posted for a short period to perform some works without any additional permissions. And what do we see? We see, especially in constructor sites, Ukrainians or Belarusians working with Polish documents. They present us Polish labor contracts. They present us Polish documents, but during our investigations, we see that these documents, these labor contracts, these posting documents are fake, and of course it's illegal work.
So I think students should be really be careful about signing up some contracts, and I don't know, because students who are studying at the Vilnius University, maybe they are, I think they might be interested in summer jobs, but it seems that construction field is kind of a little bit dangerous in this way. Dovile, maybe you would like to add anything about like from the positive side, because you see different examples that highly qualified people are applying for jobs, or at least companies are really searching for highly qualified talents, right?
Right, so all of the positions in work in Lithuania webpage are dedicated to highly skilled professionals, and we consider students to be highly qualified as well because they have higher education diplomas, and it is said that high qualification is either 5 years of professional experience or having a diploma in a professional field. So that is why you belong to this target audience. And companies are willing to hire more and more students Actual international students have become our target audience just recently. 1 year ago, we started active actions and we started communication with companies and encouraging them to hire young professionals. So more junior positions are now available, and the category of internships appeared, which was absent before. So I'm really glad about this.
So more opportunities for students to get a job and to go to follow their career path more smoothly. They have more opportunities to do the internship first and then proceed to other already to junior specialist positions. Dovile, what would you say? What are the leading sectors or of the fields of the companies? What kind of specialists they search most usually for?
Well, I guess it will not come as a surprise, but the majority of positions are in IT. So I know that companies are even targeting students who are still studying in the second, third, or fourth course of their bachelor's degree and trying to attract them to start working immediately during studies. So that would be the one most distinguished field. And also the majority of junior positions are in customer support, so it is very comfortable for students also to combine work and studies, because these positions in customer support are usually offered part-time. So it might also be helpful.
Okay, I think, Dovile, you could also answer the next question that we have from the audience. How a postgraduate international student of global business and economics from Vilnius University will be valued in job market? Maybe you can speak more about the field of economics and global business and opportunities for students of these fields.
Yeah, so as global business services is one of our three main sectors, I would say that there are quite many positions related to this area, and a person having a higher education diploma in this field would be able to find a lot of opportunities on our website. And I definitely encourage to visit it and explore the possibilities.
Okay. One of the other questions that we receive quite often from the students is, would you say that international students have the same equal opportunities like Lithuanian citizens? What would be your opinion? Maybe I think it would be interesting to hear opinion from all of three of you. So maybe we can start this time from Tautvydas. What do you think?
Well, I think that actually is almost the same. Well, usually foreign students have better English language. We have better practice. So I think it's the same.
I'd just like to add information that concluding a labor contract with a foreigner, the labor conditions shall be written in foreign language. I mean, employee shall know and shall understand his labor conditions. Labor contract, of course, it shall be done in Lithuanian language, but additionally, there should be a translation.
Okay, Aras, sorry, Dovile. Aras, what do you think about the opportunities of students? Are they equal? Because you mentioned that EU citizens have totally equal opportunities, but what about non-EU citizens? They, as we see, they have to prepare more documents or to have some procedures, at least they will have after their studies to do it. But in general, what do you think? Do they have equal opportunities to get a job in Lithuania?
Well, it's difficult to say because it depends on the position we are talking about. It depends on the sector a student want to work. Because if we talk about such sectors as construction or sectors where is lacking of employees, so I think foreigners have really good opportunities to get a job. On the other hand, if employer has opportunity to choose between Lithuanian or EU citizen and third country national, so Lithuanian legislation takes priority to Lithuanian and EU citizens.
Thank you, Dovile.
Well, I must be honest, companies prefer Lithuanians compared to foreigners so far because it is a bit easier. The main reason is the language. So the majority of people usually are Lithuanian. So it's just easier to hire a Lithuanian person, and the documentation will not have to be translated, etc. But it is getting better, and more companies are trying and are accepting foreign students and foreign professionals because they appreciate multiculturalism in those companies. And I would say that also adding our efforts, because we encourage companies to try and to hire professionals from international countries. So yeah, they are doing that, and when they start, they continue, and these teams are getting more and more global. And companies start evaluating this multicultural element, because international teams usually produce much better results compared to other kind of teams.
I also see the international students. It might be for you a little bit difficult to make some procedures, maybe if you need, but you also have the skills that probably Lithuanians don't have. So your native language is might be needed for the job market in Lithuania. So this might be your advantage. And also you already have the opportunity, you already live in an international environment. So you also have to be flexible to adjust yourself to Lithuanian culture. So you have the experience of working in international teams and the environment of the other culture, which is probably will be valued more and more in the future. I would like also ask a question for all of you three. What would be your advices for students? How they can get most of their study period? What would you suggest them, how they could prepare for their career or start their career path already during studies? Aras, could we start from you?
Well, I think practice is like a part of studies, and it might be a good start for future career. Because as I know, I don't know, I graduated a long time ago, but I had obligatory practice for 2 or 3 years, and most of my colleagues started to their jobs during the practice.
Yeah, we also see that internships can help to not only gain experience, but also to find the job that you can get later on, a full-time job. Talk with us. What do you think? What would be your advices for students during their studies?
Well, first of all, I would advise to have a little bit of legal knowledge. Well, you have to know how to defend your rights. You have to know the numbers where to call. You can always call the State Labor Inspectorate to get some help. Just get some legal knowledge, because it's I don't know, it's a must.
Okay, thank you. Davila, what would be your advices?
Well, I definitely agree about the importance of internship. I guess this is the main way to start career in Lithuania. You will not only gain professional experience, but also various skills in the company, and it might be that you will be offered a position to come back to after graduation. What is more, I would also like to distinguish Lithuanian language. So if you have a possibility to learn at least some of it, I definitely recommend it. It will be much easier to get a job offer. Also, one of the ways is to expand your social cycle in order to get more possibilities from Lithuanians. So don't stay closed in this international student cycle. Expand your list of contacts. And one more opportunity, and I'm sure Monica will also say that it is important to use career office possibilities, because they usually have a lot of information about companies and their positions that they have to offer. And the last thing is motivational letter. So I always recommend to put extra attention to it, and to take some time and really prepare it carefully. Not preparing a motivational letter so that it would be suitable for all kinds of positions, but adapt it to the one position that you really want to get.
Okay, thank you, Davila. Yes, I have to agree, and also to promote our career office, student affairs and career office services that you can get. From our perspective, I would say that the first thing you could do is to get an individual career consultation with our career consultants. You can discuss with them about how to write CV, how to search for a job, how to search for internship, or in general, what kind of job you would like to get and what field you would like to work in if you still have some doubts. So individual career consultations. Also, we sometimes organize the trainings that you can participate, and I hope you did, about stress management and building your motivation and how to stay productive and to work efficiently. Actually, the next week there will be one training about the efficient learning and work during the quarantine time. So I think I would like to stop here. I know that we have not answered all the questions, so we will answer them later on Facebook. So if you have posted a comment and a question, there will be answers. We will write the answer for you. I see that some questions are about visas and temporary residence permits. So these questions might be answered also by migration department. So we will try to get the answers from them and to post them for you. I would like to thank all of our participants of today, Dovile from Work in Lithuania agency, project and agency, Tautvydas and Aras from State Labor Inspectorate. I hope to see you next time, and I hope we will have some good news for international students, more opportunities, more knowledge and things to share. So thanks a lot for you, and for those who are listening, I would like to ask you to give us your feedback and to give us the ideas. What would you like to hear and discuss in our events and trainings? So you will see the slide of the feedback survey. So write down for us few comments. Thanks a lot for everyone, and we say goodbye. See you next time.
Thank you for attention. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.